Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is April 10th, 2021, and this is episode 269. Shino Kage is the book we're looking at today. Shadow of Death is the arc. This is number 3 in the arc and the final one for this arc. Black Box Comics is the publisher. And we get a quick look here of the cover. We've got Hachiro, who's taking on an army of dead. I believe it's 50 undead soldiers that he must face. And this is just one of the feats. He had to do 7 feats in order to become a samurai and protect his village. So let's take a look real quick who worked on this. The writer is Neil Davis. He's also one of the creators along with Mike Pesci. The cover, the artist, and the letterer is Gus Mogg. The colorist is Michael Yakutis, and the variant cover art was done by Tony Moy. I don't know if we're going to see his cover in here. Cover colors was Ari Lee. All right, and the editor on this is Brian Hawkins. So what has happened? Hachiro has completed 5 of the 7 feats as we come into this issue now, and he's also been able to take on all these different kinds of weapons after each feat. So he's loaded down for bear. He comes across a ninja styled warrior in a bamboo forest and must take him on next. And it turns out that this warrior has this very special sword that actually talks to its wielder and tells them how to move, and it's a superior blade edge too. So it starts cutting through all Hachiro's different weapons. He's taken one after another out, and they're just getting broken and cut in half and whatnot. So he's running out of weapons here. And meanwhile, he realizes that this sword is telling this guy what to do as well. So he's trying to pick up on that, and it's keeping him in the fight. It's keeping him from getting killed. Now the sword realizes as well that he's up against a fairly good opponent in Hachiro. He's gotten better and better at fighting as he's gone through all these feats. And so Hachiro at this time also realizes he can't beat this sword. But one of the things he does notice is the way that the person he's fighting uses his legs, his stance, his movement, and whatnot. So what he does is he uses the force to his advantage. He circles the warrior very quickly and is able to hack all the bamboo, which creates kind of a spear-like type situation against his opponent, and the opponent's chopping. He's actually making his own spears while Hachiro, down to his last weapon, is able to send a bamboo shoot right through him and stab him. So little crazy little way to take someone down, but all right, it's a comic book, and he's able to take over the sword. Now the sword is first, are you worthy to wield me? And he says, I guess you are, because you can totally understand, you can hear what I'm saying to you. And so they go back and forth a little bit about this. Now, he's got his 4 black marks on his mouth, and that's from his little sister that had some paint on her hand. She was writing him a sign, and she rubbed her hand against his face as he was leaving to go off to become a samurai. And so he's going back to her as soon as he can. So now that he has this sword, the sword can feel all the different feats he's gone through the last 6 or so, and what he has accomplished to get as far as he has now. And the sword decides that he is the worthy one. It doesn't last too long, though. As he sits down for the night, He has some memories of his sister, Hinata, and suddenly the sword warns him somebody approaches, and it's another warrior. This time this warrior's brung 50 undead. So even the sword says, I've never come up against something like this before, so Hachiro and the sword just start whacking through these guys, chopping them up. It's pretty good, pretty gruesome. And he finally gets down to the last guy, and it basically takes him in half. It's pretty cool. So he's sitting on top of all these corpses. The sword even says, I love the view from here, but we've got to move on. And so he goes back to heads back towards his village. He takes it back, and then he realizes he has gotten back too late. Turns out the samurai of his sensei have turned against him, have joined up with Kazu, and they helped pillage and burn his village. So he goes down trying to find his sister. He cannot find her. They make it look like maybe she burned up in the fire, but we're not quite sure what happened to her. No one has seen her, as a few villagers were able to escape, but that was it. And then they give us a nice little epilogue where Hachiro is able to hunt down 3 of the samurai, and he's going to take his exact revenge. He strangles the first one, chops the head off the second one, and the third one comes at him with some throwing stars. But he's able to knock him away with the sword, and then brutally slice his kind of head and shoulder off right there in one fell swoop. So, and he sees these ships down here. It's to be continued. I think I'll stick around for the next arc. If they're only 3-issue arcs, it was enjoyable enough. And it was kind of a fun comic, a little different for sure. So this is getting the seal, good excavating seal of approval, put right on here. It is a recommend, and I appreciate you stopping by and listening to my quick review on this. As always, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. I got 2 more books to go for the week. And let's see, Engine Ward and Vampire, the Masquerade, not the Last Masquerade. So we'll be doing those probably tomorrow. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.